Today we're going to go over week 7 spending, and we're also going to yap. So put your yap cap on because I've got a lot to talk about this go around. First thing is my husband flew in on Friday, which I thought Friday evening, like Friday at maybe 9 p.m. is when he got into my vehicle and we went home. And I look at my weekly budgets from a span of like Sunday to Saturday. So I'm thinking like Saturday, that'll be fine. Like I don't need to factor him into my normal spending because he's going to be here for one day of 24 hours. And then going into next week, then I can adjust the spending budget to accommodate him. Woo! We really hit the ground running on spending. We really did. And it made me go, oh no, oh no, oh no. Apparently I have a easier time than I thought when it was just me, myself, and I holed up in my room, having nothing on the schedule, going nowhere, doing nothing, because I'm like, well, what do I want to do? Nothing. But when he's here, guess what? I'm interested in life all of a sudden. I'm like, ooh, why don't we go do stuff? Doing stuff costs money. Mainly our big spending categories, like me and him, is food, because we didn't get groceries until today. Today being a Monday. We've gone 2 days. No groceries, no eating at home, eating out for 2 people. It's fine when I get takeout a whole bunch by myself because I get kids meals. I live off of kids meals. That's like $7 or less for all the food that I need. And then maybe I'll get something for like my grandpa or something, which bumps me up to like 10-ish bucks. Light work, no reaction. My husband, he's a 6'5" man. He's a man who eats food like for real. A kid's meal's not gonna cut it. So that being said, before I show you the calendar, and I've already filled in like Sunday and Monday, today is Monday, so I've already started filling that stuff in. Keep in mind that this isn't me just paying for everything. Like this isn't even all the spending that we've done because I'm just counting what is happening in my accounts. Because even though we're married, he lives in a different country than I do. So none of our finances have any overlap, especially since like he can't open an account here because he doesn't have a social security number. I don't have an account in the UK. So like there's nothing, It's not that we don't want to combine, it's that we can't combine right now. And I'm not looking at what he's spending. I'm not looking at it. No, I don't want to do that actually. I don't want to track his transactions. He can track his transaction, I'll track mine. Okay? And then once we're living under the same roof, then, I mean, honestly, we'll get into that at a later date, I guess, because he and I, we do want to combine. And we have talked about like, okay, well, we have our joint accounts and then we have the money that we put in our own accounts. That way, like, we don't have to be like, hey, can I spend this from the joint account? Is that fine? Like, we just spend the money that's in our individual accounts. And I was like, honestly, that's what I need. Like, I work on a weekly allowance schedule. So I'm not really sure what the flow is gonna be when we're pulling from the same accounts. But that's a discussion for a different time. So just for the sake of right now, we're just gonna be talking about my half of the spending, which is, to be fair, it's less than I thought, but also my Cube card does not allow me to spend more money than I have. So sometimes I'm going, hey buddy, pull your card down. My card's not gonna like it. My card's not gonna be a pal about this. Okay. So, we're looking from February 9th to February 15th. I mean, we're going to throw in the 16th and 17th just to get a preview of what's to come, but on the 9th of February, I spent $14.52. Monday, I spent $44.47. Tuesday, $87.79. Wednesday, $10.19. Thursday was a no spend day. Don't know how that snuck in there. Friday, I spent $34.84, and then Saturday, I spent $64.24 for a grand total of $256.05. My most expensive week of the year thus far. And I was spending more money during the week because I was having a hard time sleeping. Like, I was not sleeping through the night, and honestly, I think that's why my skin started to hecka break out. Whoa. What's happening there? Is that that's a flake of skin? Okay, anyways, I was starting to break out, like I don't know how to describe it. I don't know if you could see it in my other social media platform videos, but we were having a horrible skin time, and there were multiple factors going into this, but I think a heavy factor was I was not sleeping through the night. I was getting like 5 hours of sleep maybe. They were not restful. I was having like stressful dreams. They weren't scary to the point of like nightmares. They were just stressful dreams. So I woke up feeling like I hadn't really slept the night before. Like I felt like I was still awake in the nighttime, having a bad time. And then I woke up in the morning and I went, oh great. I'm still extremely tired because it's like I didn't sleep at all. And then Friday again is when he flew in, and I had the best sleep I've had in like a week or two at that point. I was like, holy moly, I got a solid 7 hours of sleep, which honestly, I like to get like 8 hours or more, but 7 hours of uninterrupted sleep and no stress dreams, incredible. Incredible. Thank goodness that made it all worth it, to be quite frank. But as a result, I was pretty much eating every single meal out. And that's not great, because the week before that, I don't know if you remember, my week 6 review was like, oh, next week I'm gonna eat at home more. My goal was to eat at home. That did not happen. I ate at home once. One singular time I made a meal at home. Not good. Anyways, going into this week, I'm honestly worried. I'm worried because, like I said, he got here on Friday. Saturday, we went and we went to like a family thing, and we went and we got his haircut. We did a bunch of stuff. I got Panera. And then Sunday we went to Little Tokyo in LA. I spent hecka money in Little Tokyo. I mean, granted, it was mostly not from my account, I think. Let me see what transactions we got on here. 1507, 1974, 1506. Yeah, okay. The record does not show it because half of that was on his card, but on Sunday alone, right now my total was $49.80. That total is more realistically closer to like $150 because we got food, and we got food for my best friend, as we should, and then we got some like these little mochis, these like gourmet mochis, apparently like the best mochi in LA, but we got mochi, and that was like 36 bucks. We got heck of stuff. So I'm going to say realistically Sunday's total was more like $150. And also he got me this. Give me a sec. There's like this bookstore in the Little Tokyo area. And he got me this. He got me this little green ink pad. And then he got me this stamp. ASMR. What the hell? Oh. And it's a little money dollar bills. And you might be thinking, Rebecca, what a stupid dummy purchase. Okay, first of all, he used his card, and yeah, that's cheating. Yeah, it's cheating, but he used his card. And if I was using my card, I wouldn't have bought it. I would have left it behind. But he was using his card. He doesn't buy shit ever. So we'll let it slide. But it did give me a preview into what's to come, and that I really need to get a grip. Like, holy moly. I didn't realize how easy it would be for me to fly off the deep end. Like, give an inch, I'll take a mile. And my husband showing up here, that's giving me an inch. And I am so ready to take a mile. I'm so ready to take that mile. We went to Costco today. And right, my hardline items, we didn't talk about this at all, sorry. For my no-buy this year, because I'm doing an entire year-long no-buy, is my hardline items of like, girl, we're not allowed to buy these things, clothing and shoes. No clothing, no shoes. No clothing, no shoes. Guess what I immediately wanted to go look at when we got to Costco? Clothing and shoes. And in my mind, I was thinking, well, it's not even a factor because it's not clothing for me. It's not shoes for me. It's for him. So like he'd be spending it on himself. But my husband, he does not care for clothing or shoes. He's not interested in either. He's got 3 pairs of shoes and it stresses him out. He's like 3 pairs of shoes, so many shoes. He has a pair of trainers, as he likes to call them. They're like Adidas running shoes. And then he has like work shoes, like steel-toed boots and stuff. And then and that's fine because nothing at work that's heavy enough to like bend the metal to cut his toes off is gonna happen. It's genuinely just like, oh, a little extra protection at work. And then the last pair of shoe he has is like dress shoes. He's got 3 pairs of shoes. I was trying to get him to buy Skechers earlier. We passed by a Skechers store. I was like, let's go into Skechers. Let's look around because I just wanted to torture myself, apparently. We look around. I'm like, try these on. And he's like, no. I'm like, come on, try them on. And he goes, no, I really like the shoes I have on. And I go, right, why don't you just try these on because those are not going to survive much longer. And he goes, no, I don't like Skechers. Just try them on. No, I already have 3 pairs of shoes. Like, those shoes would be what I'm wearing. He's like, those shoes that we're picking out would replace these shoes, hypothetically, but I'm never going to choose those shoes over these shoes So it's pointless to buy those shoes. And I hate that he has flawless logic. I hate that that just makes perfect sense. You know what I mean? So I was like, come on, try the shoes on, try the shoes on. And he was like, no, no. And he goes, and if you try and force me to buy the shoes, I will never wear them out of spite. Ooh. Ooh. This man will not budge. He will not budge. So he said that he'll try on new shoes when either there's a hole at the bottom of his current shoes or one of his toes are sticking out. Fine, whatever. So he didn't crack despite me like putting my best effort into going off the rails. I was going feral in that Costco. You would have been ashamed of me, actually. We were in Costco and I was walking around and I was like, let's just go look at the clothing because the Costco clothing does look really good on him. So I was like, let's go look at the Costco clothes. And he goes, no, we don't need to. Nope, I don't need any clothes. Nope, there's no room in my suitcase. I can't bring any of that back with me anyways. Nope. Uninterested. Not dazzled. You know what he wanted? He wanted his rotisserie chicken. He was excited to go to Costco for the $1.50 hot dog and drink combo. He was not at all. He wouldn't even walk me by the shoes in Costco. That's how, like, steeled he was. And he didn't even have to be steeled. That was just his default. He was like, no, I don't care. No, I'm not interested in that. And because we couldn't look at my clothing, because I'm like, well, I mean, I can't even swing a loophole for my clothing stuff. We didn't even walk by that, and it was devastating. He's a super saver for real. For real, that man is a super saver. So yeah, it makes me question my own sanity in terms of my self-control. Because again, I want to go back to Daiso. I'm like, let's go to Daiso. They have like cute little stuff. Like, give me an inch, I'll take a mile. I'm like, you know what else would be super cute stationery? Stuff from Daiso. And I will say that bookstore I went into that was in Little Tokyo, I looked around and I was like, a lot of these notebooks are in Daiso. I'll tell you what, if we do go to Daiso and I see anything like this, I'm gonna crash out. No, I won't crash out. Maybe I will. But yeah, honestly, I think that I am used to having him around when I'm kind of in a shopping mode. So when we're together, I'm like, why don't we go here? Why don't we shop here? Why don't we look around here? And so everything that we do together is kind of geared towards spending money. And I'm realizing that that's a bit of not a problem necessarily. Well, okay, yeah, like a problem, I guess, if I don't kick it into gear. But I'm like, what else are we going to do but go out and spend money? What else are we going to do but go out and buy stuff and things? So now I'm like, okay, well, we're getting into the habit of like taking walks throughout the day. So even if it's in the morning, if it's in the evening, I don't know, sometime out of the day, we just go for a little walk, like in the neighborhood. We just have a nice little time, which I really enjoy. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll start going to the park again and like bringing a blanket and like laying on the blanket and reading my little Kindle. And then he can read a book too. Like maybe I'll get into the mode of doing that. And also, I've got dogs who love to play. We could take the dogs to a dog park. We could take them on a little hike. What else can we do? We can watch a movie. I don't know. Here's the thing. I don't want to watch a movie or binge a show with him because that makes the time go by so quick. So when we're living in the same country, that can be an option. But when we're still in the phase of like waiting out immigration paperwork, so like if you're wondering why don't we live in the same country, it's because immigration is slow. But once we're in the same country, then we can watch TV together. But since we don't live in the same country, whenever someone visits, if we watch TV, if we watch movies, time goes by in a hurry. It's like time is racing itself. I've never felt time move faster than when we're binging a show together. So I don't want to binge any shows as of right now. Maybe we can make food together. Man, I hate making food. Maybe I'll paint this room. But he's not really interested in painting because when he was a kid, he moved around a lot. So he's painted a lot of houses. He's painted a lot of rooms, painted a lot of houses. So he's like, there's nothing I'd rather do less than paint a room. I'm like, okay, but I feel like painting a room would be so boring that it takes forever and it makes the time go slow. So that might be an option. That might be an option. I really hope so. I don't mind painting a room. I feel like this room is maybe one of the best options too because there's not too much stuff in it yet. I mean, every single week I move more and more stuff into this room. Like there's a pile of stuff over here. And also I have a bag of clothes that I'm setting aside that I like want to get rid of. But because part of my no-buy for this year is like not decluttering my wardrobe specifically because every time I get rid of clothing, I need it. I end up needing it. I end up thinking that actually that thing I got rid of, I really could use it. So I'm not getting rid of it, but I am going to move it into the shed, just like out of my space. maybe I'll walk you through that. Maybe I'll do a little video where I show you all the clothes that I want to get rid of as of right now. Or I'll wait till the end of like March. We can do like a mid-year check-in of the clothes I want to get rid of. But yeah, they're just kind of camping out right there, which is annoying because it makes it look like this room is super cluttered and full, especially since it's in a trash bag. It's not really aesthetic if you ask me. But in general, this room does need a little bit of a spruce. So maybe he and I can work on that, even though he won't want to. He won't want to do that. And then also his desk needs to fit in here somewhere, but he's not interested in being on camera by accident. He's not interested in being in the background. So I'm like, okay, we have this corner back here. We could definitely see you there. We've got that corner over there, which maybe is the best bet. But it's kind of like right next to the closet. But how often am I going to go into that closet? So maybe I will stick him into this little corner to this side, because that back corner by the door is just, I mean, obviously we can't do that one. But I have a whole rack of clothing over here. We'll talk it out. We'll figure it. We'll figure it out. We'll talk it through. It'll be fine. But mainly, previous to this week, I was like, this is easy. Light work, no reaction. I'm not shopping at all. I'm having no problems not buying anything I'm not supposed to buy. And this week, I'm like, holy shit. We might be in trouble here, folks. Here's, you know what? I think I forget momentarily that I'm on a no buy too. Like, we go out places and I'm like, oh, let's go here. And I forget, like, no, we're on a no buy. And those are the specific categories we're like no buying. Dang. Maybe I'll do experiences. You know what? Here's the thing. Because he's visiting me, he doesn't have like his computer set up or anything, so I can't be like, okay, park at your desk over there and play your video games for a couple of hours. He's like sitting right now while I'm filming this video, he's in our room just like staring at a wall. No, he's staring at his phone watching YouTube videos, but like he's passing time. You know what I mean? There's nothing that he's doing that's actually engaging. He's just like waiting for me to be free again. I don't know. What do you suggest? Does anyone have any like, what are some free options? I feel like not even free necessarily, just like low cost experiences maybe. Like maybe we'll go to the zoo. Maybe we'll go to a botanical garden. Maybe we'll go to like a rock climbing gym. No. It's too cold for the beach. And the beach is also low-key far. And you have to pay for parking. And that's also gas. And if there's a lot of traffic, we'll take a toll road, which is more money. I'll tell you what, when I'm in England, we don't have this problem. When I'm in England, I'm hanging out at the house, and I'm just like casually watching TV, and he has it's the video games. He has his video games. So he'll sit and he'll play video games or whatever it is on his computer, and I'll sit and I'll read my Kindle and I'll journal and I'll have a grand old time. So we're both doing things that are like passive, low focus. Whereas here, he's got nothing. He doesn't have his video games. I think maybe we'll get him a Nintendo DS or something. I don't know. That was a tough one. So, anyways, I'm sure there was another pitfall I wanted to talk about for this week. Let's see. Yep. Spending on my own, already behind. Yeah. I spent a lot last week. I can't believe that. Gross. $256.05. What a bummer. Ugh. You know what else we discovered this week? Retirement. We talked about retirement savings on TikTok a lot. Retirement, I was freaked out at first because I was like, okay, I want $120,000 of spending power by the time I retire, which means I need to kick it into gear for the next many years so that I can hit Coast Fire. Coast Fire, that strategy, because like the FIRE strategy in general is just like, it's like putting enough money in retirement so that you could retire early. Coast Fire is like putting a lot of money into retirement while you're young so that by the time you retire, like you can hit a certain point. So like right now, if I put like $3,000 a month into retirement, then when I'm 46, I can stop contributing to retirement and then I can coast until I'm 60. So, because like compound interest will do the rest of the work for me so that when I retire, then I'll have an annual income of $120,000 and that'll be fine. But, I mean, Coast Fire was like encouraging, but at the same time, upsetting. Here's the thing. I think I'm just impatient. I'm just impatient because I don't want it to take 18 years. I don't want it to take 21 years. I want it to take like 3 years maybe. And that's just not realistic. That's like not a realistic expectation to have. It's not optimistic. It's just like a bratty point of view from where I'm standing, but it's how I feel. I just don't want it to take as long as it's going to. And I understand that like the time will pass anyways. And if I put my whole chest into saving for retirement now, then before I know it, 6 years will go by and I'll be like, wow, I'm so glad I did that because now I don't have to worry. Maybe 12 years will go by and I'll go, oh, I'm so glad I did that. Now I don't have to worry. And maybe this year, especially since like I'm in a place where I'm living at home, I'm not really paying rent. I'm setting aside money for rent. So that's not going to savings. It's not going to investments. It's just, I mean, technically it's going to savings, but I'm not putting that money towards me necessarily. It's just kind of there to get in the habit of it. I'm in a place where I'm contributing more to savings and retirement than I would be able to if I was just on my own. Because someone asked me, like, okay, well, you're planning to spend $120,000 annually when you retire. Like, how are you going to do that? First of all, I live in Southern California and it is adjusted for inflation. So like I could probably say like $70,000, $80,000 and be fine, because hypothetically a large chunk of this will be Roth. It'll be in a Roth account. So I'm not going to be paying double taxes on it like I would be now if I was earning $120,000 annually. But I'd rather save more than I need and then go, wow, I actually don't need that much. Because here's the thing, right now, the way that my life is, I don't feel like I'm depriving myself of stuff in the name of retirement. Like maybe I'm making judgment calls here and there. Maybe I'm saying, okay, well, I'm not going to like give myself a shopping spree right now instead of retiring. But like a shopping spree, I don't even need a shopping spree. Like I'm giving up stuff that I don't actually want anyways. So right now is the ideal time for me to go balls to the wall on retirement savings. So I just want to be clear when I say that. And here's the thing, I'm like, it's not going to be like this for long. Like my whole situation could change in the next couple of months, let alone the next year or year after that. And I'd rather just put as much as I can into retirement now, because I think I do a pretty good job at both living in the moment and not being too stingy with myself, but also making an effort to prioritize what I know is actually going to bring me a lot of value. And retirement savings is one of those things. So yeah, we had that conversation. And then, I mean, I will say Coast Fire and just like fire in general, those numbers feel really big because you want to get them out the way as soon as possible. But when we looked at Barista Fire, which is a retirement strategy where you're like, okay, I want to save enough so that I'm taking a lot of the pressure off my income. Like ideally, I want my retirement income to cover my basic needs. But I also plan on keeping a part-time job for as long as possible. Like when I'm 60, I don't think I'm going to want to stop working. I think I'm going to want to keep a little part-time job for a while. So the whole point is like having an annual income from retirement investments to cover like base needs, and then you're having a part-time job on top of that to just supplement the income or maybe make up the difference. And we found that was a lot more attainable. So I think one of it was like, if you have $10,000 saved by the time you're 30, and then you're contributing $585 a month to your Roth IRA, so essentially you're maxing your Roth IRA retirement account every single year, until you're 60, like you're going to be good to Barista Fire. And that's not even factoring in if like Social Security is going to be a thing by the time we retire, because a lot of us are not optimistic about Social Security still being around. So I don't want to bank on like that contributions, because a lot of people were like, well, what if you have supplemental income from rent? What if you have supplemental income from this? And I'm not considering that. All of that is going to be cherry on top. It's going to be helpful if I like miscalculated. Maybe I need more money than I thought, but I don't want to factor in all these different things and be like, they all need to be bringing in the most money that they can in order for me to retire. I just want to say like, okay, well, what if I only have investments? Like, what if my whole life blows up and all I've got left for my investments? Okay, great. That'll cover my base needs. Like, I'll still feel good about it. So, yeah, I mean, if you're 30 or younger than 30 and you contribute and max out your Roth IRA every single year, that's fabulous. That's like a fabulous foundation for retirement. And then if you do 401k contributions, and even if your employer doesn't match on top of that, like that's just putting you even farther. If you can do Roth 401k contributions, that's great. But again, like the Roth IRA is hopefully going to go a long ways. Reminder to definitely invest the money in your Roth IRA. if you haven't, because contributing your money into your Roth IRA account doesn't necessarily mean that it's being invested in anything. So really it could be sitting there losing money because you're not earning any interest on it. So if you have a Roth IRA, make sure you log in, make sure that money is being actually invested. It's not as scary as you think it is. Just look up index funds. You will be fine. But it is very, very important that your Roth IRA money is invested, or else you will not benefit from compound anything. So we had a big conversation about retirement. And yeah, generally, I just feel way better about the whole thing because I was actually really scared of retirement. Like I've been saving for retirement almost aggressively for the last, like I would say, year and a half-ish at this point. But I've been aggressively contributing, thinking that it was kind of just for nothing. Like I was like, well, I'll put all this money into retirement, but I don't really understand how it works. And I also feel like that's not enough money. And it turns out that it is enough money and that it will make a difference. So putting something away is the way to go, even if you feel like it's not going to make a huge dent. But so we had a lot go on this week. I really enjoyed it. We had some interesting conversations. And yeah, I didn't put anything else into my spending tracker. I mean, I have the money wins and the unexpected impulse expenses. Honestly, I feel like I could put stuff into the unexpected / impulse buys. I really could. But nothing is coming to the front of my brain. But now I want to talk strategy about what I'm going to do while my husband is here. And I want to keep using Cube Money just for mindful practice sake. But I feel like I'm going to end up using my credit card anyway. And like this too, just in the last 3 days that my husband's been here, I have used my credit card. I haven't just used Cube Money, and I did factor the credit card purchases into here because otherwise it would look deceivingly low. So I am just going to use credit card for simplicity's sake. Ooh. Okay, I'm going to start using credit card for simplicity's sake today. Like this week will be the trial run. He's here for one more week after this. So after this week, if it's like bad news bears, then we'll switch back to Cube Money. But I think that like as long as we're just doing food, transportation, those kinds of things, it should be fine. Maybe I'll keep transportation to my Cube card. No, we're already spending more money on transportation than I thought. Like we've filled up my gas tank once, like using his card. We drive a lot. We go a lot of places while he's here. Like we're going to be going to Disney on Friday. We're going to be going to Disney next Friday. We got stuff on the map, and that stuff is far. It's far away. Basically, I put off figuring this out for a long time, mainly because I was like, oh, I know what it's going to end up being, and I don't want it to be that, but I don't have a better solution. Because if it's inconvenient, I'm not going to hassle it. And using 2 cards, not really my jam. I don't appreciate doing Cube Money plus my credit card bill. I'd rather have it all just be on one together. So I think my spending goal for each week, like I don't even feel like I can have a spending goal because I'm not tracking what he's spending his money on. What he's spending his money on his card on. Like I'm not looking at his transactions to factor it into my transaction tracker. And I probably could. I could be like, hey, pull up your portal right now. Let me put it in my thing. But then it makes it look so ugly. Maybe I'll set the bar low so that it'll be easier for me to overachieve, and then I'll feel better about it. And then I won't be so worried. Should I just go with the flow? The flow's never been good to me in the past. Especially not when it comes to money. I don't know. I think, okay. I'm just going to be using my Chase Freedom Unlimited credit card for purchases while my husband is here. And if this week goes horribly wrong, then I will switch to Cube Money again, which is like the cash, like digital cash envelopes, which is what I usually use when it's just me, myself, and I, and it works perfectly. But I don't like being as hovery about money as I am when it's me and him, because I just don't know how much money is appropriate for each category. I'm a great independent worker. this is, some people ask me, they're like, how can you be long distance for so long? And I'm like, I'm great at being independent. I'm fabulous at being concerned with just me, myself, and I. And having him around is so lovely. I feel like my life has like unpaused, you know what I mean? Because when he's not here, I'm like not interested in going out. I'm not interested in doing stuff really. I'm interested in being chill, much like how I am in the UK. I feel like when I'm in England, I'm like, wow, it's so beautiful here. Like, it's so calm. I'll just sit in this little windowsill and I'll watch the rain and I'll journal and I'll have Gilmore Girls on. And my husband will just sit at his desk, like playing video games. And I can go downstairs and get us both a glass of water. And it's just like, it's so lovely. And there's nothing I want to do that includes spending money. But here, our dynamic is totally different. Here, I'm like, go, go, go. There's places to do, people to see, places to go. Like, there's so much to do in California that we spend way more money when I'm here versus when I'm in the UK. So we're just like, I think we haven't hit our stride point. We haven't hit our plateau in California yet. Although I told him, I was like, we need to make an effort to do groceries and eating at home more this week and next week, because I think that's our major spending category, is food specifically. I think it'll be fine if we get food for lunch or dinner, but the past 2 mornings that he's been here, we've done breakfast, lunch, and dinner all eating out. Not sustainable, not great for the wallet. So we just need to curb some of that. Yeah, okay, I'm feeling a little bit better about it. Again, though, it's only Monday, and I've already spent $90.61 for week number 8. So not the most stellar start I've ever had, but we'll bring it back. And the good news is, I guess, is that I can't really finesse him out of him using his money for stuff that I want to buy. He doesn't really stand for that, which is good. That's good, because then I'd get away with more. Well, I'd get away with more between me and him, but then I'd have to talk about it here, and then that just wouldn't be great for me. So I mean, it's good that he puts his foot down and he's like, no, Becca, I don't want Skechers. No, Becca, I don't want a whole wardrobe from Costco. Blah, blah, blah. I even tried to get us to go to Old Navy. I was like, you love Old Navy. Old Navy is so fun to shop. Like, let's go to Old Navy. I'm sure they've got great shorts for you. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing, and I need to get a grip. I feel like I just had confessional. I feel like I just told you like all of my sins. But yeah, so I think the only thing so far that we've done is he got me this little stamp, and I'm going to use it in my journal, and I'm really excited about it. But yeah, I used to use a whole bunch of stamps. I used to have, actually, I still think I have a bunch of them, but I like sending people letters. So letter, and I'll use it in my journal. And yeah, this isn't like a totally out of nowhere kind of purchase for me. It will be put to use. Is it unnecessary? Yeah, it's unnecessary. Was it a want? Yeah, it was a want, but it's not clothing or shoes, and it's not the worst thing that could have happened. I would have left it behind if he wasn't there, but I think he also was like, she'll use it. It'll be fine. So maybe I'll write someone a letter today. Does anyone want a letter? Ooh, you know what I used to do? In my story on my personal Instagram, I would say like, do you want me to send you a letter? And then I sent like a bunch of people little handwritten letters, and I like wax sealed them and everything. Oh my gosh, wait, I'm gonna put this on my hand right now so that we can do it together. Okay. Oh, shoot. I hope this isn't horrible. Can you imagine? Okay, I need to put my back into it. Oh, there we go. Oh, shit. This is like not at all good. Maybe it needs to be on paper. Whatever. Okay, let me whip out the journal. Now we need like a redemption, actually, because this is embarrassing. Come on, you little stamp. Oh, that's great. All right, it's just crap on skin. What is this? Journal with me. Journal. Listen, I was brainstorming some content ideas, so don't mind that. But like, this looks way better, does it not? Does it not? Way, way, way better. Perfect. Whew, that was scary. That was a scary one. I want to take him to Daiso. I do. I want to go back to Daiso. I want to buy a couple things. I need a couple pens, but that's about it. I don't need anything else from Daiso, and that's the problem. Maybe I'll just buy a new pack of pens online and not go to Daiso. Or I'll go to Daiso. No, maybe I won't go to Daiso. Anyways. In other news, I have decided that I am going to do like a little rewards jar because I think it keeps things interesting. I don't know yet what I'm going to put in here. A couple people suggested like, oh, put stuff like go to the movies or I don't know, do something like let yourself have an experience. I already let myself have experiences, mainly because I don't care to do a lot of things. And secondly, because my no buy is structured to be like sustainable. I wanted to address my problem areas, and then the other stuff is mostly fine. However, if I acquire a new problem area, then I'm gonna have to add rules on. So like, let's say I got this little stamp and I was like, I'm gonna collect stamps now, and I dropped like $300 on stamps. Then I'd have to be like, well, Rebecca, let's make a rule, no more stamps for 2025. But for the most part, like I'm not in danger of that. That's like not a problem for me as of right now. It became a problem. I think if I started hyper fixating on stamps, if I kept being like, oh, I can get one more, like just one more won't be a problem, then I'll know that it's gonna be a gateway into an issue, and I will have to preemptively add that rule on there. But I don't want to have a list of stuff that is not entirely necessary. You know what I mean? So I think that the rewards will just be like kind of permission to enjoy things that I would otherwise second guess. So like I could go to Daiso with $15 and I could like buy stuff. I could buy stuff that I wanted as long as it wasn't like clothing, shoes, new skincare, new accessory, new new makeup. But I just don't like, it just doesn't feel right to go to Daiso just to like spend $10 on just like garbage that I see just because I can. Like I'm not interested in doing that. But sometimes it is nice to go and like, I don't know, buy some little things that I would use. Like the pill boxes. I do love a good pill box. I do use those for things. But yeah, I think it's just like giving myself permission to do like little fun activities. And I don't think I would like pull the activity and then immediately go do it. Like I won't be like, oh my God, I get $10 to spend at Daiso. But I can bank that for later. Like I'll probably just keep it in my wallet and I'll be like, okay, well, I'm going to use my my little coupon essentially to do this thing for going to Daiso. And I do think I'm just going to give myself one once a month. And you know what? Maybe I won't even have them be random. Maybe I will assign them like in March, this is my reward and I can either use it or I can save it. And in April, this will be my reward and I can either use it or I can save it. I think that might be the way to go about it, because I can sense kind of like what I want, and I think I would be disappointed. Ooh, okay. I don't know. Do I want it to be random or do I want it to be thought through month over month? Because the bonus rules are going to be random. They're going to be randomly drawn. And we're starting that in March. We're starting the bonus rule in March. So maybe I will make them both random. Yeah, I think so. Okay, good. I'm glad we had this chat. But going into this week, which we're already started this week. Sorry, my husband was here. I've been putting this off. I've been busy. I've been neglecting the timeline. But going into this week, continuing week number 8, my budget. Genuinely, I want to say that if I spend less than $400, I'll be pleased, because I know like there's no way I'm going to spend more than $400. There's no way I'm going to spend more than $400. But also that feels like a cop out, because like how would I spend more than that? But I feel like if I put $300 and I spend more than $300, I'm going to be really upset. Like that's going to hurt my ego a bit. So I don't know if I want to set the bar so high that like there's no way I'm going to reach it, or like so low that it'll be a surefire way to trip over it. But you know what? I think I'm just going to focus on behavior. So instead of spending on or focusing on the money that I'm spending, I think I'm gonna focus more on the activities that we do, because Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm still at work. So like there's not a lot of wiggle room there. I think we're definitely gonna go see a movie in the evening on one of those days. So that's probably gonna be what, 30, 40 bucks. We have Disney on Friday, but I do have a Disney gift card for $100. Actually, I have a Disney gift card for $200. So $100 for this Friday, $100 for next Friday. So I'm hoping that that just kind of like takes care of the Disney day for me. And then, okay, I think my goal behaviorally is going to be to only eat out, like get takeout once a day. And here's the thing too, if you're thinking that's a push, my husband's from England. They don't have all the same fast food that we have. So when he visits, like one of the things he really likes to do is get takeout. Like he likes to go to all the different takeout food places because they don't have them in the UK. And he's like, oh, it's so good here. Like I want to eat it. I want to have the things because I can only have it for like the 2 weeks that I'm here. Okay, so I think that my goal is going to be I will pay for takeout for one of our meals if we go out for the day. Like I will just one a day. And then if we go out twice a day, so if we get like lunch and then we get dinner, then like he will pay for one of those and I'll pay for one of those. And that way like it's kind of self-balancing the budget, you know what I mean? So I think that's reasonable. I think that's a reasonable expectation. And I'm going to say I want to keep it under $350 because I do get that $100 for the Disney day. So it should be okay. It should be fine. I feel all right. Okay, this was one of our longer videos. We had a lot to cover. I had a lot to talk about. I hope that you treated this like a podcast. I have been thinking about moving these chats onto a Spotify platform as well. I do already have a podcast though with my best friend. It's called Life in Quarters. And our next episode is going to be released this Wednesday. It is about budgeting unpredictable income. And then in other news, I'm still posting on TikTok. It is Rebecca.Sowden. And then I'm also on Flip at Rebecca.Sowden. And then finally, I'm on Instagram at r.sowden.money. I'm really interactive on that one. I think Instagram is probably the place that I post the most out of all of them because I've been posting to Instagram stories a lot more. We talk about certain things. I ask questions. Yeah, so if you want just regular interaction, I think Instagram is probably the most casual place to attain that. And then other than that, we've just got here on YouTube. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.